Hey, how's my favorite on?
Get into any trouble whatsoever, I'll come forth immediately. I'll say that I duped you. That I promise.
Risk is what keeps us young, isn't it, darling? Sometimes I wonder if you let money get the best of you, my love, among other substances.
Oh.
This is the moment.
Obvious, huh?
This is the moment.
Darling, you're sweating bullets.
What can I say? I'm a drug addict. I really am. I mean, cocaine, pills, whatever it is, I'll fucking do it. That's the truth. I mean, I'm a sex addict too.
Well, there are worse things to be addicted to than sex.
Jesus, why am I telling you?
He's a drug addict. He's taken on the identity.
All right. So here he takes on, this is the moment that the movie shifts away from the idea that drugs are the answer to now I'm an addict. I can't stop because the price is starting to pile up. So we need an excuse for this behavior. And we have a cultural excuse. It's called being an addict or an alcoholic. And that is a catch-all term. That's a term that you can use. And especially if you've been to treatment a number of times, you can always say, well, I'm addicted. I have the disease. I can't stop. And then you take on this idea that there's a class of people called the addict or the alcoholic who can't stop. That's not true. These are choices that people make. And you may have a habit that is massive, hugely problematic. You may feel hopeless. You may have all these things going on, but it doesn't mean that you're in a separate class of people that are powerless over a substance. You still have sentience. You still have choice. You still have consciousness. You still have a mind. You still have all the things you were born with that makes you capable of changing a habit.
Yeah.
But if you take on this identity, it becomes your excuse. It becomes what you stare at and look at and say, this is why I am this way. And you become the label. And that's where things go bad. And that's where confusion hits. That's what this book is all about, undoing.
And all the other life challenges that every single person has gets thrown into that I'm an addict basket. And other people will pile that on too. They'll be like, oh, you do that because you're an addict. Even it might not have anything to do with substance use. I've known people that have been abstinent for 20 years who still blame their problems on the fact that they once liked to get drunk and high.
Yeah.
So, and you'll see that too in some of these next clips.
Yeah. So things are going south.
Jordan, do I have a surprise for you?
What's that?
20 real lemons. This pharmacist client of mine, they've been in the safe for 15 years.
Fucking kidding me?
Lemons?
When it comes to Quaaludes, the Lemon 714 was the holy grail.
I thought they were like a myth.
3 times as powerful as anything available today.
Look at these babies.
Boy, Donnie really knew how to celebrate. He said he was saving these for a special occasion, like a birthday or being clap-free, or our money arriving safely in Switzerland. So that night, I cleared my schedule and I rid my body of anything that could fuck with my high. Ooh. It was celebration time.
Hey, start off with one, see how it goes. My guy says all we need is one. Salud.
Cheers.
Okay, so this scene is an interesting one because this is all about ritual. I wanted the scene because it shows him doing the enema, puking, getting his system ready. I didn't go to those extremes, but I certainly would time my meals.
Yeah.
So that my stomach was ready for a good night of boozing.
Yep.
I couldn't eat too much. I had to be selective about my food. I remember doing this, and I was
me too.
17, 18 years old. And I would literally, now eventually what happens when you do this long enough, if you do drugs long enough, or you drink long enough, especially drinking, you get to a point where it doesn't matter. You just drink all the time, whether you're eating or not eating, frankly. And that's when things get bad.
Mm-hmm.
But this scene in particular is all about ritual, getting ready. You know, and they do a great job of explaining about the holy grail of Quaaludes. Right?
Yeah, this
the
is
lemons.
The lemon.
This stuff it's so funny too, because when you're a kid and doing drugs, it's all the same thing. These guys are in their 40s and their 30s and 40s, and they're acting like they're 15, you know, but it's all what you value.
For sure.
You could be a car collector and find the one holy grail car, right? I mean, it's if drugs are your thing, this is the way it is. But ritual plays a huge role in how you get high and drunk, for sure.
Yeah.
That's why bars are the way they are. A crack house is built the way it is. A brothel is built the way it is. It's all about the ritual.
Let's go to the next one.
Specifically advised not to leave the country. So we took our wives to Italy.
We have a problem, okay? Your friend, Steve Madden, is unloading chairs.
What are you saying? Who told you that?
What's going on?
He's doing it.
He says Steve Madden's unloading shit. What do you say? Who told you that? It's bullshit.
I'm watching the screen, and huge chunks of Steve Madden are being
All right?
Donnie, your little friend is trying to fuck me. You know that? Your little friend is trying to fuck me right now. Get him up. Even though I own 85% of Steve cocksucking motherfucking Madden shoes, the shares when his fucking motherfucker knew I was in trouble with the feds and he was trying to take advantage.
Baby, come on, talk to us.
Why don't you get all our clients on the phone right now and have them start selling Steve Madden? We're going to drive that fucking price down. You hear me?
No fucking prick. He's gonna fuck with me. You're gonna turn his entire company into a penny stock. You hear me? Yes, I got it. All right, jump to the conclusion before we know what's going on. Cut the turn! Cut the turn! Hang up your phone! Everybody, turn the phone around! We're going home!
Baby, what happened?
Okay. I think we need to just, before we go into the next scene, cocaine to the rescue. That's all I can think of when I see that. It's like shit's hitting the fan. We got to do some lines and get this shit handled.
Yeah, and this is such a cool scene. So if you watch the movie, listen to the music in the background. So it starts out with jazz and it continues with jazz, but it goes to a wicked climax and it gets louder and louder and louder as they're doing more lines and the more the panic and the more lines and the panic. And it's just really well done. But the point is cocaine to the rescue, right? And let's see how that works out as time goes on.
What's going on?
And Emma.
Yeah?
And Emma is dead.
You fucking kidding me?
No.
You serious?
What? That's just fucking...
Fucking heart attack. Boom, snap, gone. Ruffled off from mortal coil and $20 million stuck in a Swiss bank account.
God, baby. Oh, God, that's so fucking terrible.
For me.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
Your aunt was such an elegant.
We're absolutely devastated. Thank you so much for your condolences. Now, where does that leave us in regard to her account exactly?
Your aunt, before she died, signed a document naming you as her successor.
She did. Oh, fantastic. Well, that's the news.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah.
So this scene is so good because it just portrays him as the selfish prick that he is.
For sure.
It has nothing to do with addiction. I just liked it because it shows his instant worry about the money. He could care less about Emma. She was just another tool
Mark.
in his, yeah.
She was a mark
yeah.
for him. Yeah.
Just another person to walk over.
All right. This next scene comes at the tail end of the previous scene.
Yep.
So let's go.
I don't die, Jordan! I did a lot of bad shit! I'm going to hell, Jordan! Fuck up so bad!
Get the loons downstairs.
Get the drugs! Get the drugs!
Get the loons.
I can't go down there! There's flooding 3 feet of water down there!
I will not die sober. Get the loons.
Okay!
Go.
Okay! No, baby!
Donnie, is he fucking crazy?
There goes a helicopter.
Jesus!
Holy shit. Okay. First of all, there's no way they can survive this. That is no. So in a previous scene, which you didn't see, he forces this captain to take him to like hop skip all over the ocean.
Yeah.
And the captain is like, it's going to get rough.
Yeah,
Like,
chop.
There's going to be chop, right? It's gonna
But
be
you can tell he's like, this is a bad idea.
it's not going to be good, right? So he forces him to do this, and it almost kills them all. And then the line, I will not die sober.
Yeah.
Because is there a worse fate?
All right. Did he say it yet? In the
Yeah,
scene?
he said it.
He did.
He did.
I was so fixated on him, like,
And then he goes down, risking his life into this flooded cabin
yeah. Yeah.
and he finds
Get the
them.
lewds.
Get the lewds.
lewds.
I can't. Oh God, oh God, I
Well,
can't.
if
do
you
it.
think about if you believe that you need drugs in every stressful situation, well, that's as stressful as it gets.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
All right, we'll go to the next one.
I changed all these people's lives, and I can change yours too. My seminar, the life of your dreams is only good to see you again, George. You're on your right. Gotta be joking. You kidding me now? Hey, get the fuck away from me. Turn the camera off. Don't make it honest like you motherfucker.
Cleaned up my act. I did rehab. I'm a
Oh.
TV personality. I'm sober for 2 years, and this happens.
years.
Goes and gets busted down in Miami.
I'm Swiss. I'm not communist.
And guess who the fuck with?
2
Sorrel.
years.
Yeah, I know your country.
Yeah.
So why isn't his life going smashing?
Yeah. So there's this weird part of our culture, and that is that if you enter recovery, that you deserve a medal. Now, please understand, if you're in recovery, great. But it's a weird thing nonetheless, because the truth of the matter is everybody gets sober the same exact way. Everybody gets out of the problematic habits the exact same way. They make a decision that not taking drugs or moderating is better than heavy use.
Yeah, that they'll be happier, like legitimately happier, not getting drunk and high every day, right? Not continuing in the way that they're doing it.
And as soon as you figure out that you're happier doing drugs again, you'll relapse, right? But the point is that everybody gets sober the same way. And so he feels this is such a great screenwriting, because it's a scene where every single thing he feels in his life is predicated on, I deserve what I want.
Yes.
And I'm going to manipulate every single thing, including recovery, to my advantage. And when society and reality bucks up against that, he throws a fit.
Yeah.
So it's a classic case of a lack of maturity and a view that if you're in recovery, you deserve to be treated differently than the rest of us.
Well,
And
that's
not
such
reality.
a great point, because there is this idea, I think a lot of people, not a lot, maybe, but many people we've met that identify as being in recovery, to them, being in recovery becomes, they want to use that to their advantage. So that becomes a weapon.
That's
They
right.
weaponize recovery against the people in their lives.
Oh, it's so true. And that push and pull, that power hierarchy with family, probation departments, society, and this depicts it.
Yeah.
Ultimately, recovery never holds up, though. If the person's acting like a jerk, doing things illegal, I understand this. I was in recovery.
Absolutely.
And I manipulated my family and my mother and other people using and wielding recovery as some sort of victim entitlement.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it.
So now the rest of this is all about this narrative, the recovery, relapse, the difficulties of being an addict and recovery lifestyle.
You want a beer, pal?
What do you drink?
This non-alcoholic shit.
What's that?
Like a non-alcoholic beer. It's got no alcohol.
great
It's a beer?
Yeah, with no alcohol.
Is it beer?
But you drink enough and you drink a lot to get you fucked up.
No, there's no alcohol. That's the fucking point.
I'm not a scientist. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I'll give you beer if you want fucking
No,
beer.
but I don't drink. You remember? I don't drink anymore.
Oh, you want to go inside and blow some lines of baking powder? I can't imagine ever not enjoying getting fucked up.
Yeah.
I love it. How's being sober?
Fucking sucks.
Boring, right?
So boring. I want to kill myself.
Right there. This scene is probably the best depiction of the reality of recovery in movies. There's a funny scene in Family Guy with Stewie when he's lifting weights. That's a funny version of this.
It is a riot.
We should throw that in here. But you can find it on the web. He's constantly deprived. Recovery is deprivation because recovery never deals with why you like to get high and drunk. And if you don't know why, you can't then challenge that and find a way out.
Right.
So he's in this horrible place where he's using grit and willpower to force himself not to do something he desperately desires because he's never challenged it. This whole book, the whole Freedom Model, is about challenging what you believe about this elevated magical status you've given drugs. Is the magical status real? He's never challenged that. So he has a belief that he's being taken away from his magic.
Yeah.
And recovery is such a terrible place to be if you're doing it with grit and you're constantly having to go ahead.
If you're staying sober one day at a time. I mean, if you're counting the days, what you're doing is you're counting the days you're deprived of your magic. And so the people that don't count days are, and I say this because when we were in AA, I didn't really count days.
No.
Every once in a while, people would say, when was your sober date? And I knew it, but it seemed weird to count it because it wasn't a struggle for me.
Right.
And so anyone that's in going to meetings or whatever, doing that, if it's still a daily struggle, it's because of that. It's because you are feeling deprived one miserable day at a time.
So if you are a person in recovery, and some people will say, no, well, I don't feel deprived. And I was in recovery and I didn't feel deprived.
No, I didn't either.
There's people, but what that means is you're not in recovery.
No.
What you are is you're free.
You've changed your mind.
Yeah. So you probably don't need the meetings and all this weird charade that you're doing something for your sobriety when you're not doing anything. You already changed your mind. Changing your mind is the answer to a drug problem.
Yes.
There is nothing else to do. There's no meetings. There's no recovery. There's no apparatus. There's no thing therapy. None of that is needed. So there is all that stuff needed if you're depriving yourself and you haven't adequately challenged your belief about the drug.
Yep.
So the whole beginning of the movie, this is where we can tie it all together. The whole beginning of the movie is building the drug up. Then the second half of the movie is where the reality that the drugs can't adequately provide the magic because it's not magical is coming true. So reality is hitting all the characters in this charade that they're creating for themselves. And that's the FBI, the fact that they're ripping people off, the fact that they're asshole people, that they're not good people, that they're stealing from society. And so all those chickens come home to roost. And then they do the recovery charade as sort of a chip that they throw in the bin to say, hey, look at me. I'm doing the right thing now.
Right.
Kumbaya. And that's not working. So and this next scene is where you see it all come to fruition.
Well, you see the opposite, right? The other kind of the dark magic of the substance is being portrayed as this all powerful evil entity that can destroy you.
Yep. And he's still using it because he hasn't challenged his perceived benefits of the drug, which we talk about in the book here endlessly. Because he hasn't challenged that. As soon as the stress level gets to a certain point, he goes right back to the supposed magic, and there isn't any because there never was.
You want a divorce? What is that supposed to mean? You want a divorce?
Get off me. I want a divorce.
Get off. Just make love to me. What the fuck is wrong with
I
you?
don't love you anymore, Jordan.
You don't love me anymore, huh? Well, isn't that just fucking convenient for
Now
you?
that I'm under federal indictment with an electronic bracelet around my ankle, now you decide you don't fucking love me anymore. Is that right?
No. This is how it's gonna go. I'm gonna take custody of the kids. If you agree to the divorce right now, I will allow visitation.
It's a tough scene.
You're not taking my kids, sweetheart. You hear me? I got news for you. You're not fucking taking my children, you vicious fucking cunt. Fuck you, you fucking bitch. I'm fucking taking my goddamn fucking kids. You hear me?
Now he's a victim, right?
Right. Now he's the victim. And the magic. He hasn't challenged the magic.
So what do you think he's looking for?
Stress relief.
He also hasn't challenged the idea that he can handle adversity in his life.
That's right.
Look at yourself, Jordan.
So this is such a difficult, this is a hard scene because anybody that has been in and around somebody with a heavy substance use problem, or we were like that, where you kind of feel for Jordan in a way. I mean, he is a jerk, right? He's a terrible person. But now he's so wrapped up in mythology, in the mythology of drugs, and the mythology of he's a weak, broken person, right? He's an addict. He kept that stash there because he was not planning on not using it. He kept it there because he was planning on using it. So he was playing this whole game.
The charade.
Yeah.
It's the charade.
You know, and so there may be a part of him that feels out of control at this point, but up until now, he's pretty much been controlling everything. And that's what he doesn't realize.
Yeah. Yeah. This is a tough scene. Only because if you've been in domestic violence and that sort of thing, or real chaos, I grew up with chaos like that everywhere. Yeah, you did. It's a painful thing, and there's nothing funny about, you know, when people's lives are destroyed, you know, and relationships are crushed and children are crushed in that mix. But ultimately, all of this could have been avoided by challenging the perceived benefits of the drugs.
Yeah.
And that's such a central part of the freedom model that no other model has, you know, in our society. And you can see it in the movies. Like in this movie, they never really get to a solution. It's always about being deprived of what you love the most, which is this magical substance. And the good news is, you know, I don't know how Jordan's life in real life ended. I don't know how much of this is a true story. I have to look that up. I think Jordan was a real person who wrote a book about it. I looked up some of the stats, but some of the background, but I don't know if he ever got his life together. I hope he did. I hope he did. I hope he doesn't feel deprived. I hope he has a great life. You know, I hope he got out of prison and all of that. But certainly this could have been avoided. So if you're out there and you're struggling with all these things, you don't have to go through this. No. I think, you know, ultimately, why are we doing these reactions? So that we can educate and show people there's a lot better ways of dealing with this than recovery and meetings and feeling deprived and being miserable. You don't have to go through all that.
No, the ultimate, here's the thing that people don't understand. And that is that nearly everyone, based on the data, nearly everyone gets over a cocaine problem, gets over all kinds of drug problems, gets over alcohol problems. Well, alcohol has the longest tenure of any drug in a person's life, like heavy duty alcohol use. As a general rule, they still get over it. And, you know, 9 out of 10, and most don't ever go to treatment or rehab. And treatment and rehab that teach you that you're forever broken actually prolong the struggle and create what you're seeing here.
Yeah. So I want to end this at this scene, actually. I mean, I do know that he goes to prison and then he gets out and he's on the sort of self-help sort of sales seminars thing. But for educational purposes, I think what Michelle just said is really, really important. And that is that, you know, ultimately you can solve these things, and you were born with everything you have within you.
Yes.
And you've always been free. You've never been an addict. You've never been an alcoholic. These are terms that are made up terms by the treatment industry. So it's really important to know that you're free now, because you have a thinking mind. And ultimately, the thing that frames out your interpretation of the drug being valuable can also be used to devalue it.
That's right.
And we can show you how to do that, obviously, or get the book or whatever. You can get on Amazon, whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah,
and
you can be free.
There was really great, if you watch this movie in its entirety, you will see the bullshit of drug mythology, because you will see on one hand the same exact substance it seems to be able to relax you, help you to have fun, make you angry. And like you see all of what we've written in our book, all the different drugs can't do any of it, but they definitely can't create opposite reactions in the same individual.
Right. They can't create opposite emotional reactions in the mind and brain while being the same molecule in your body.
Yes.
And that's not a small point.
No.
But we go over that in detail in the book. But
and in our workshops.
Yes.
That's what the workshops are for, is really to help you to identify the value, the magic you see, and then devalue it.
Yeah. And go through a very manual process of devaluing it with the facts.
Yep.
So anyway, I hope that you found our first reaction valuable, entertaining at some level. I hope our endless talking didn't take away from it. It's a great movie.
It is a great movie.
It's wicked entertaining if you watch it from beginning to end. It's a long one.
It is really long. Holy mackerel.
But I thought it just depicted so much of the mythology in one place that I thought it was a good place for us to start. So we're going to do these every 2 weeks.
Yep.
Until we run out of material. But the world
I
is a
don't
big
think
place.
we will.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah. But we'll probably see similar themes. We're also going to look for a place where, and it's sort of rare, but where appropriate versions of facts are presented, and they're more rare.
They're hard to find.
Yeah, they're hard to find.
But we'll find them.
Yes,
we'll
we will.
mine for it. So you'll never watch movies the same way again.
That's for sure. All right. Take care, everybody.
Relax.